Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. We are live. Oh, we are live on all platforms. ENM says, can we talk about switching your cellular service? I mean, do you have links to the plan and all the stuffs and stuff? It's tough for me, dude. I'm international. It's tough for me to switch when Verizon works internationally. Like, what am I going to do when I go to Singapore or Sri Lanka and I'm on this weird ass plan? That's my scare. I need it to work everywhere, data everywhere, and I cannot land in a foreign country and my phone not fucking work. You know what I mean? It's not really that feasible for me because I travel too much and my phone is needed way too much. All my credit cards and payments, my communication, everything is on there and it must not fail. And I do not want to experiment with some new small company. I don't want to be switching out global eSIMs or any. I don't have to do anything on my phone. I don't have to touch anything. Verizon does it all. And I'm not going to mess with it. And what happens when my phone doesn't work and it's not connected? How am I going to get the information in a foreign country to connect my global eSIM when the phone doesn't work? And I'm not going to sit down and prepare that shit beforehand. So stop it. No. The answer is no. I don't understand how yet. I'm not comfortable and I'm not going to be the first guinea pig to do it. Not in my situation, you know what I mean? If I just chilled at home and I had a normal job and I didn't leave Cincinnati that often, I'd fucking do it. It'd be a no brainer. But I travel too much and my phone is too important to me to do that. You know what I'm saying? Pre-market the SPY and the QQQ is looking up. Bitcoin is up 0.5%. ETH is flat, but it bounced. Somehow in the past like couple hours, we jumped up to 2560. Then we fell back down. So very curious what's going on here. Hold on. I didn't take an allergy medicine this morning. I fucked up. Should I go run upstairs and take an allergy medicine real quick? Nvidia jumped 7% after blockbuster earnings boosts AI confidence. Dude, I might run up there and take one. God, I should take one after I get up every morning. One moment, chat.
Your favorite band is from my hometown. That's what you told me that night. You like the way I wear my hair down. I never thought that it looked that nice. And even on the days that feel a little colder, and even if forever gives up, you can pull away, but that just pulls me close.
Oh shit, was muted. Fuck. Just all types of fucking screw ups this morning. Well, appreciate it. There seem to be people out there watching. There are some people on YouTube. It says there's well, there was somebody until I was muted and they couldn't hear me. But we had one person on YouTube, one person on X, and we appreciate them for watching. Nvidia shares rose Thursday after the chip giant's revenue guidance reassured investors the artificial demand will remain strong. The company's shares were last up 7.2% in pre-market trading. The Qs. Investors' bullishness suggests Nvidia could. Wow. Dude, I had so much stuff wrong today. Could buck the trend of its stock dropping the day after reporting earnings in all the previous 4 quarters, despite meeting or beating estimates. Nvidia did pull back before it reported earnings. Like the past week, it had been pulling back, and I almost thought about gambling. I think I said this live on the stream. If I didn't, I was thinking about going live some Nvidia calls into the close yesterday, but I did not do it because I don't have any money. Imagine that. Your boy would have printed too. We would have fucking printed. Chip stocks rallied following Nvidia earnings. Micron's up 4%, Marvel up 5%, ARM up 5% pretty much, Intel up 3%, Advanced up 1.7%. Shares of the neocloud firms also rose. Nebius and CoreWeave around 7.5. Nvidia CFO Colette Kress said on Wednesday that the company expects revenue growth of 70% for fiscal 2028, which runs February 27 to January 2028. So next year for fiscal 28. Okay. Said demand is much greater than 70%, but the company is constrained on the amount of products it can supply. Wow. They're literally like, we could sell more, but we can't make it fast enough. That is crazy. Nvidia's main manufacturer, Taiwan Semiconductor, continues to face supply constraints while memory chips, a key component of Nvidia systems, also remain in short supply. On Thursday, analysts also pointed to a threat to Nvidia's near monopoly over the most advanced AI chips by recently announced custom semiconductors built by hyperscalers and AI labs like OpenAI. I mean, to a point, it has to get commoditized. Like, there is obviously more demand than there is supply. And with prices and margins going so high, that's going to allow for competition and supply to come in. It's the natural supply and demand of capitalism, my friend. Nvidia boosts AI optimism. Nvidia has never forecasted a year in advance, but the company has a lot of greater visibility now across the supply chain to do so. Nvidia's forecast comes at a time when investors remain nervous about capital expenditures from large tech companies, the circular nature of financing deals, and the return from AI investment. Tech giants' comments around AI demand appearing to calming some of those fears. Interesting. That is interesting. U.S. considers fresh rounds of tariffs on semiconductors. What? Next gen streams investing in timer automated washer and dryer system. Wait, what? Timer automated washer and dryer system. What? Investing in timer automated washer and dryer system. What are we talking about? What? Welcome, Next Gen Streams. Not sure what that comment was about, but alrighty then. U.S. President Donald Trump administration is reportedly considering new tariffs on U.S. semiconductors as tech giants race to beat China in the AI infrastructure build-out. The duties will be imposed on an expanded range of tech products made alongside chips, including laptops, data center servers, gaming hardware. 8 people familiar with the matter told Politico in a report published Thursday. Introduce laundry optimization. When are we going to get robots that will do our laundry? The White House did not immediately respond to requests for comment from CNBC, but told Politico reshoring semiconductor manufacturing is a top priority for Trump, whose policies have already secured hundreds of billions of dollars in investments in the key sector. Existing tariffs on Chinese semiconductors were introduced under U.S. President Joe Biden. Trump said last year that he's planning to unveil new tariffs on semiconductors and chips. Are they all made in like Taiwan and elsewhere? Are they even made in China specifically? China. Trump administration did impose a 25% tariff on certain AI chips. Chinese firms have reportedly been able to access NVIDIA's chips despite heavy U.S. export restrictions. Industry watchers say access to advanced compute via overseas cloud providers is a factor in Chinese AI models. These people are going to get around it. If China wants chips, they're going to buy them in America under an American shell corp and just ship them to themselves in China. Like, it's almost impossible to stop them, you know? I just remembered from last stream you left it in all night high on your wife. Oh, yes. My dryer. Great. Next gen streams. My dryer is broke. Currently is still broke. It's not like totally broke. It just doesn't turn off. Somebody has to turn it off. If it doesn't, like, the timer doesn't work. So, yes, we need a new automated timer for our dryer specifically. I suck. What else is in the news here? American Airlines adds batch of new international routes on its XLR planes. Meh. What the Bus family Lakers dispute can teach wealthy about trust. What is going on here? Semiconductors are definitely still catching news. AI, it is the tech revolution right now. Everything is a smart something. I have a smart screwdriver right here. I have another smart screwdriver over here. I don't know why I have 3 screwdrivers on my desk. This one, not as smart as these two, but you need chips in everything. Chips, there's chips in my Yeti coffee mug here. There's chips everywhere. Everything is going to need a chip in it. Gene Busey, I don't even know who this is. Jerry Buss structured his estate to keep Los Angeles Lakers in the family after his death, but some of the safeguards meant to preserve that legacy have driven his children apart. 5 of the Buss' 6 adult children want to sell the family's remaining stake in the basketball team, followed by a separate recent transaction of $12.5 billion. Meanwhile, their sister Jeannie contends that her siblings do not have the legal authority to give up ownership and is opposing the sale, which would result in her losing her position as governor of the Lakers. Oh no, that's her whole life. The Buss stake in the franchise is owned by a family trust, which includes last man standing clause, as described by sister Janie Buss to ESPN in 2017. That provision transfers a sibling's equity upon their death to their surviving sibling rather than their own children, incentivizing the siblings to sell during their lifetime. Oh, that is crazy. Stephen Fox, partner at Buchalter, said it's a common for parents passing down a business to want to limit the number of stakeholders. However, this type of clause is unusual. I rarely draft that into estate plans because just because one sibling has cancer and all of a sudden is going to die young, it's not fair for their children to be divested. The other attorney spoke, has not seen the terms of the Buss family trust. While few family businesses are like the Lakers, the broad strokes of the Buss family predicament are familiar, according to lawyers who spoke to CNBC. That's common. Use life insurance to compensate family members. The impulse behind the last man standing clause makes sense without limits on inheriting equity. Family's business can end up with dozens of shareholders. However, there are ways to avoid having too many cooks in the kitchen while compensating the next generation fairly. This is interesting. Talking about the Buss family who created the Lakers dynasty, you should watch The Winning Time on HBO. Great show. Interesting. Fox and Weisbart each recommended using life insurance to essentially buy grandchildren's equity. Typically, the trust would take out policies on the children of the patriarch or matriarch. After the child dies, their shares revert to the surviving sibling while the grandchildren receive cash from the life insurance payout. That's interesting. If the death benefits isn't sufficient to compensate the grandchildren, the trust can provide them with the secured note, placing a lien on the family business. The secured note can be paid out over time and paid in full if the business is sold. Plenty of money for them to have a great lifestyle. This is interesting. Limit decision-making power. The trust requires 2 of her siblings and her co-trustee Janie and Joey to vote in a way that keeps her ownership above the 15% minimum for team governors. It's common for parents to be torn between wanting to treat their children equally while acknowledging that one child is best suited to run the business. However, dividing decision making power may not be in the children's best interest. Voting rights to one or two children who are best equipped to run the business while dividing the economic interest equally. That is interesting. Reconsider child involvement. Keep family out of managing it. Keeping family business through multiple generations is a steep challenge, he said. One of the families he's working with has a fourth generation billion-dollar company. He said their secret to success is that no one in the family is allowed to work for the company. Wait, what? After the second generation of the family spent 10 years battling in court for control, the third generation amended the shareholder agreement in the 80s to keep family members out. That doesn't work for the Lakers. There's a lot of swag that goes along with running the Lakers, but it works for some businesses and it works perfectly for this family. What? How in the hell? How do you own a business and you're not allowed to work for it? That's like the Hilton family, I bet. Why do I feel like that's the Hilton family? Jerry Buss basically bought a basketball team that was losing money and turned them into one of the most lucrative sports franchises in history while he was basically bankrupt. Dang, wow. Kansas City Fed Schmidt, old Schmid, says inflation is stubborn and sticky. Policy rate not restrictive. Kansas City Federal Reserve President Jeffrey Schmid said Thursday that inflation is still too high. Is this why Bitcoin and ETH popped this morning? Though he stopped short of calling for an interest rate hike. Speaking from the central bank's annual symposium in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, the Kansas City Fed host, Schmid said in the CNBC interview that inflation has proven resilient. No shit. It's still stubborn and it's sticky, and we've got to continue to find ways to break through. We're going to have our work cut out for us as we move into the Federal Open Market Committee cycle. Comments came the day after the Commerce Department reported that the Fed's primary inflation gauge showed core prices, which exclude food and energy, rose 3.3% from a year ago, well above the 2% target. And we all know that if you include food and energy, we're fucked and it's a lot higher. Coupled with an economy that grew 1.5% in the second quarter and unemployment rate sitting at 4.1%, Schmid said it's not clear that the Fed's current policy rate target of 3.5 to 3.75 is restrictive. I think we need a little bit more information. What I'm trying to figure out is the demand side, what's driving both growth and inflation. Sounds like AI. You can't figure that out yet? You can't figure out what's driving growth? Sounds like the AI build out is driving some fucking growth everywhere. Inflation, you don't think the war is causing inflation? You don't think the war and tariffs and and unrest around the world, global economic and socio unrest around the world is driving inflation? How about the printing of money? I can give you a ton of different fucking answers right off the dome piece, just freestyling in the morning. Schmid, you can't figure it the fuck out? You don't know what's going on? Maybe you shouldn't have your fucking job, because I'm just a guy in my basement and I can kind of figure it out a little better, and I'm sure you have so much more information than I do. So much more information, dude. Fuck. Salesforce Mark Benioff says the SaaS apocalypse is nonsense, and here's why. People have been saying this, the whole SaaS apocalypse thing, AI is going to beat you, blah, 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 doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me. You're still going to want a Salesforce. Their margins are just going to get compressed a little bit, but you're going to see the rollout of people that specialize. Like, I want a CRM from Salesforce. Theirs is going to be so much better than what I'm going to build with Claude right off the rip. And I don't want to spend months and times dialing in my CRM. I want to spend time actually using the fucking right tool for the job to sell the thing I'm looking to fucking sell, right? This doesn't make sense. The SaaS apocalypse doesn't make sense. Every expert in their field of domain that's building something is still going to be an expert. They're just going to have better tools to build it faster. It's time to put fears of the SaaS apocalypse to rest after the company's latest earning report. This SaaS apocalypse narrative has been such nonsense, Benioff told Jim Cramer. Frontier models depend on CRM. They don't replace it. Salesforce, what do you mean they depend? How does Claude need a CRM? I don't know about that. Salesforce shares surged more than 12% after the enterprise software giant delivered a strong quarter. Best known for its customer relations management software, Salesforce also owns workplace messaging service Slack and data analytics platform TableAU. Wow, I didn't know that. Salesforce is holding in Kramer's Charitable Trust, the portfolio used by the CNBC Investing Club. Benioff said the number shows that AI is strengthening rather than cannibalizing the business, pointing to very companies once viewed as threat to traditional software as a service or SaaS. According to Benioff, 9 of the 10 leading AI companies use Salesforce and Slack, with spending on the platform surging 435% a year ago. I don't understand. The companies still, like people that work at AI companies like OpenAI and Anthropic still use Salesforce and Slack. Like, yeah, humans still use Salesforce and Slack. What does that have to do with is AI? Like, you're just saying they haven't created, even the people that are AI leading artificial intelligence companies haven't gone and created their own CRM with their AI. Interesting. Interesting. Earlier this year, investors did fear that increasing capable AI models would allow businesses to accomplish more with fewer traditional software subscriptions, undermining the industry's pricing model. Wall Street worried that companies could use AI to create software tools they're paying for. Salesforce shares were down 22% this year. Stock were to close on Thursday, where it is trading in an after-hour session, a big chunk of that year-to-date decline would disappear. It's partnering. They're partnering with Anthropic. The company's unveiled Claude Force on Wednesday, a plugin allowing salespeople to use Anthropic Claude to tap into customer data stored in Salesforce and perform tasks such as composing emails and updating records. Rather than replacing Salesforce, AI models like Claude rely on the customer data, business context, and workflows housed on Salesforce's platform, positioning its company as a foundation for AI agents. I don't know. It's like a template of information. Customer relations management. You don't know what CRM stands for, E&M. You don't know what Salesforce is. You've never looked into Salesforce and HubSpot. How do you organize the leads for your business? How do you organize your callbacks and follow-ups and all the information and quotes and invoices? How do you organize whether somebody's a lead, a client, they need to pay you, etc. You know what I mean? All of that is a CRM. Salesforce being the most popular one, created by Mark Benioff here. I've used both Salesforce and HubSpot and others. I'm a fan of how they work. We currently have our own built into nVent right now that definitely is not as robust as the other two, and it takes a lot of building to get there. U.S. considering fresh round of tariffs. Salesforce stock jumps 10% on AI growth and an Anthropic investment gain. Spy? What? Who the fuck is going to Best Buy? I don't use a CRM. I do all that old school manually. Imagine all the time you would save if you used a CRM. All the alerts. Think of all the things you're missing trying to be old school on paper and shit. Is that what you're talking about? You're on paper. You use your own spreadsheet. Got your own spreadsheet that you look through every day and you got to figure out, oh, did I call this person or not? Wouldn't it be nice if it just sent you an alert? What if it had reminders every day? You woke up and you looked at your CRM and it said, hey, these are the 3 people you said you'd call back today. Do it. Sorry. No viewers on X, no viewers on YouTube, 3 on Twitch. It's like we lose viewers. It's like we lose viewers. Best Buy. Best Buy on Thursday reported better than expected fiscal second quarter results. Who the fuck is going to a Best Buy? The consumer electronics retailer said it saw comparable sales growth of 4.1% during the second quarter. Higher than expected adjusted operating income. Best Buy said it drove growth across all major categories, with a surge in computing contributing to that strength. Strong first half performance. The company now expects revenue between 42 billion and 0.3 and 42.8 billion. Wait, what? From where? Where? How? Where is there even a Best Buy? I don't even know where there's a Best Buy around. I don't know. Yeah, but how many things do you miss? You think you just do it, but there's so much stuff that you miss without a CRM. And like, I think I just do it. I know there's a ton of shit that I miss without a CRM. You know what I mean? As much as you say you just do it, you don't. Growth profit for the quarter. Wait, how did it get all this money? Best Buy reported rose. The earnings marked last quarter. Strength reflects deliberate actions we have taken to position the business for growth and healthy demand environment for our category. The company reiterated that customers continue to spend. They're focused on value and sales. What do we mean here? Reported declining foot traffic, lower consumer confidence. Opening smaller format stores in an effort to expand Best Buy's presence in areas that can't sustain full size locations. That's it? And leverage AI? What? You know, people don't want full size Best Buy stores, so we're gonna make smaller ones. You don't even mention selling on the internet? I'm fucking confused here. U.S. Central Intelligence Agency Director John Ratcliffe made a surprise trip to Moscow this week to warn Russia against attacking NATO, according to multiple media reports, amid growing fears of further escalation of the Ukraine war. Ratcliffe's first publicly known visit to Russia capital as CIA chief came to light on Tuesday when U.S. Air Force jet was spotted arriving at Moscow airport. And footage of a diplomatic motorcade moving through the city came up on social media. The purpose of Ratcliffe's trip to Moscow was first reported on Wednesday by the Wall Street Journal, citing unnamed sources briefed on the trip. Citing multiple people familiar with the matter, Ratcliffe also brought up Iran, warning of additional sanctions. For the Strait of Hormuz, the Trump administration has threatened Iran's trading partner with so called secondary sanctions as it seeks to ratchet up the pressure on Tehran. China, the United Arab Emirates, Turkey, are known to be among Iran's top trading partners, while Russia has long shared close economic and military ties. Interesting. I went to Best Buy in Vegas last year, bought a keyboard with my winnings, and didn't have to order one when I got home. Interesting. Shit was dead. They were using like a quarter of the store's floor space. Oh shit. U.S. President Donald Trump described Ratcliffe's meeting, which figures from Russia's intelligence services, as semi routine. I don't know that. Something may come out of it. I don't know about that. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov, meanwhile, said Ratcliffe did not meet with Putin during his visit to Moscow. I can only tell you that contact took place through intelligence services. Alongside analysts and external observers, warnings that Russia's full scale invasion could soon enter a more dangerous phase, Ukraine President Zelensky has said that Russian President Putin is preparing to escalate the war. Russia forces have increased the number of missile strikes on Ukraine cities in recent weeks, likely as a part to push to exploit Kiev's shortage of ballistic missile interceptors. We need more supply of the interceptors. Quite an unusual visit. Yeah, this is definitely unusual, right? I think it's indeed important that Ratcliffe went there. He's one of the strongest supporters of Ukraine, and I think the current wave of escalation of hybrid attacks against Europe is indeed something that perhaps the US also wants to have some discussion with Moscow about. We have seen the cases recently in Germany. Again, there have been many cases in Britain, and I think it just shows us the level of communication needed to be stepped up. What cases in Britain and Germany? What are we talking about here? Has Russia attacked Germany or Britain, or Russians done something crazy? I don't. What is going on there? God, my allergies are so bad in the spring and fall. Right now, my head feels like in a balloon. There's air pressure here behind my ears and stuff. So painful, very annoying. 8:42. We got what? 50 minutes until a little under 50 minutes until the market opens. My head is a balloon right now. Oh my god. AI bug reports triggers emergency warning for Bitcoin Lightning node. I don't know how much more I can blow out of my nose. AI bug reports trigger emergency warning for Bitcoin Lightning node operators. Developers of Core Lightning, a software used to send Bitcoin over the Lightning Network, have issued an emergency warning to node operators after a flood of AI generated security ports uncovered several real vulnerabilities. Fuck. What? Where does this all come from? The Lightning Network sits on top of Bitcoin and lets people send quickly. Core Lightning said its small development team began receiving a large number of AI generated vulnerability reports in early August. Such reports point to places where software might potentially be attacked, leaving developers to check whether weaknesses actually work in practice. Several did. That's crazy. Developers are keeping the details private for 2 weeks while preparing software containing fixes, giving operators time to update before. Wait, but shouldn't people just turn it off then? What do you mean? Aren't other people going to use AI to find this shit? Like as I blow it out, more cum. Like it just makes more cum. A screenshot of CLN's advice spread across Bitcoin social media on Thursday, and instructions changed sharply as it traveled. The original message told operators who could not immediately upgrade to restart their nodes using offline not to power them down, but developers later stressed that operators should not switch their machines off, as a node that stops running can no longer defend the Bitcoin sitting in its payments channels. Lightning works by letting two participants lock Bitcoin into a shared payment channel and repeatedly update who owns how much. When they eventually close the channel, the final balance is recorded on Bitcoin. A node needs to keep watching the Bitcoin blockchain in case the other side tries to close the channel using an outdated balance. That happens, the node could respond on chain and protect its funds, but a machine that has been completely powered off cannot see that happening. Restarting Core Lightning with offline instead cuts its connections to other Lightning nodes. No payments can be sent, received, or routed through it, but the software keeps running and continues to watching Bitcoin. Core Lightning plans to release signed versions of the patch software first, allowing operators to verify files came from development team before installing them. The source code and details of the vulnerability are expected to be published after the 2 week embargo. So does that mean like they're at a pause right now? Does that mean the Lightning Network is paused? Project does not disclose what the vulnerabilities allow an attacker to do, how many are being fixed, or whether anyone has exploited them. The regularly scheduled Core Lightning 2.6 26.09 release remains planned for late September. The BTC Pay server exposed credentials controlling Lightning nodes in early August. The attacker drained funds from some of them before a fix went out. Interesting. Very interesting. Scary. AI is finding vulnerabilities before people can patch them. Oh no. Oh my god, I'm being tortured by my allergies right now, live on stream. I don't understand how anybody could watch this. I get why nobody watches. I'm dying over here. They didn't pause AI. People are using AI to find vulnerabilities in their Bitcoin Lightning node. I don't know if it's all of Bitcoin Lightning or just their specific nodes, these developers that have their own, like, core developers of Core Lightning, a software used to send Bitcoin over the Lightning network. So there, it's just their software. Using paper towels on my nose, dude. I'm gonna rub my nose fucking raw. Fuck. Unstoppable Domains drops 2 million plan to bring .crypto and .bitcoin to standard internet. Bitcoin tests its largest supply wall at 80,000. Bitcoin faces a significant resistance wall between 80 and 82,000, the largest concentration of supply across any comparable price range. According to Glassnode, nearly 8% of Bitcoin supply was acquired within this band. The metric shows where the existing supply last moved, assigning each entity's total balance to its average purchase price bucket. Around 5% of Bitcoin supply is concentrated at 80,000, the largest cluster at any individual price level. While 82,000 represents the fourth largest, the $78,000 level contains the second largest cluster, 3.7% of the supply. May sell as the price returns to their cost basis, creating overhead resistance. I don't think so. Somebody bought that high and was underwater is now going to sell just as they get back to break even? I don't fucking think so. I think that sell wall moves higher. Gotta have Kleenex for allergy season. Totally agree with that. I need a Kleenex sponsorship, please. The average cost basis of deposits into the US Bitcoin spot ETF is also around 80,000 to 82,000, adding to the potential sell pressure. Similar dynamic developed between 60,000 and 63,000, where most where more than 6% of the supply is concentrated. That area became a strong support zone after Bitcoin traded within the range for much of 2026. The 50-week moving average, which tracks Bitcoin average closing price over the 50 weeks, currently sits at 81,000. Bitcoin has remained below it since November 2025. Very interesting. Can we go back above it? Would that signal a bull market if we go above the 50-week moving average? Where does all this liquid come from? Make it stop. Bitcoin steadies above 79,000 as ETF inflows hit longest streak since April. God, I need to keep these fucking paper towels out. I keep putting them away. Like, why am I putting them away? I'm gonna rip new paper towels every 5 fucking seconds. About to go upstairs and eat a second allergy medicine. Just fucking OD on fucking 24-hour Claritins, my friend. Bitcoin's sitting at 79.3 for the morning, kind of pulling back from this high. It popped over 80 this morning. Very interesting. The SPY is looking to open up. Qs are looking to open up. Nothing major really in the news. Nvidia beats. Everybody that reported yesterday beat. CrowdStrike beat. All the chip stocks are up. It's all about that Zyrtec. I need double the Zyrtec, triple the Zyrtec right now, dude. Quadruple me up. Literally, spring and fall are the worst time of year for me. The worst time of year. Not much going on though. Qatari PM heads to Iran to de-escalate tensions as tanker attack tests Trump's Hormuz claim. Wait, dude, I thought we were making a deal. I thought we made a deal. I thought Oman and them made a deal and we're opening it back up. They can't even deal with each other over there and make deals. Like what? Didn't Oman and Iran come to a deal here? The seasonal allergies, I wonder if it's everywhere too, because it's definitely everywhere I've been. Yeah, it's because spring and fall, there are different types of plants that create pollen and flower and seed out in the spring and the fall, and I'm allergic to pollen and mold and dust and fresh cut grass and basically everything that keeps me in my own home, okay? This is why I live in my basement, chat. This is why there's no financial advice. I'm just a guy in my basement who's just trying to breathe, dude. I'm just trying to breathe out here. You know? Just simple air, oxygen. Just trying to turn oxygen into carbon dioxide, all right? The prime minister, I can't even read, my allergies are so bad. Prime Minister of US ally Qatar is in Iran for talks Thursday as part of efforts to de-escalate tensions. Qatar has served as a back channel between the warring countries, announced Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani. Jesus, what a name. Discuss ways to de-escalate tensions, create the conditions conducive to dialogue. It came after UK Maritime Trade Operations Agency said another oil tanker was struck by an unidentified projectile in the Strait of Hormuz early on Thursday. We're still shooting at people. What is going on? I thought we had a deal. The discussions will also address freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz and need for it to return to the status quo prior to February 28th. Meet with a number of Iranian officials. Blah, 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 blah. The latest attack on an oil tanker in the Strait of Hormuz was reportedly off the Omani coast, adding that the resulting fire had been extinguished. All crew members were safe and an investigation was underway. Traffic through Hormuz has trended lower this week, remains far below pre-war levels. We fucking know. Only 5 ships made confirmed crossings Tuesday, down from 7 the day before. So, are we making a deal or not? Like, I'm so confused. What is happening? I mean, I'm sure there's somewhere in the world where there's not pollen right now, and it's not hostile to me. But then that just means there's another time of the year it's pollinated in summer and winter instead of spring and fall. You know, like there's pollen everywhere on Earth. Maybe not in Antarctica. Should I go live in Antarctica? Yes, every once in a while there'll be a drone or rocket or something shot, but it's very functioning straight. A lot of oil is pouring out, Trump said. No, it is not. See, why are we lying? U.S. military has maintained a naval blockade against Iranian ships in the vital checkpoint, used the southern Omani lane to escort oil tankers in and out of the Gulf. I don't understand. I just don't understand. Like, do we have a deal? Do we not have a deal? Are we shooting at Ships? Are we not shooting at ships? Are you friends with your neighbors or not? Dude, the toy industry is all about stress balls. Dumplings, ice cubes, gummy bears, squishy ones. Anyway, are some of the hottest toys of 2026. Dumplings were huge. Squishy toys have been around for years, but products such as Nido, made by Massachusetts based Shilling, have exploded in popularity this year, helped by the relatively low prices and social media appeal. U.S. sales of squishy toys reached 297 million through June. Oh my God, quadrupling from a year earlier. Oh my God! Unit sales jumped nearly 200%, 58.6 million over the same period, while the price of the stores they're selling in make them widely available and accessible from a price perspective. The Nido run particularly started on social media. The combination of fun colors, interesting packaging, stress relief, and play helped lay the viral foundation for broader adoption. They really managed to capture a moment in the zeitgeist. Oh my God! Oh, it's the newest pet rock. It's the latest pet rock or beanie baby or whatever it is. They caught lightning in a bottle and they became millionaires because of it, and then they will eventually fade away and they will retire off their squishy toy millions. How does somebody come up with this stuff? And the problem is it needs to like fade, or you have to manufacture it almost by buying a bunch of influencers first and like starting the wave, and then other influencers are like, shit, I'm gonna buy one of those and make a video too, and they start buying it, and then retail starts buying it, and then it's over, right? And the question becomes, can I start enough of a wave that I actually profit off of it from what I spend on the initial marketing spend to get the wave going with KOLs? You know? Dramatic shift. Kevin Kwok, director of Kids Village Asia, the sole distributor of Shillings, Nido in Singapore, Malaysia, and Brunei, told CNBC that inbound trade and retailer inquiries have risen 20-fold. The shift in demand has been dramatic, took off around January, largely by social media. So that squishy toys are increasingly valued for their sensory and emotional benefits, not just novelty items. I mean, got it. Children ages 7 to 12 are the largest group of recipients. I mean, shit, even my 3 year old would love it. The current hype will fade over time, like fidget spinners, but the broader appeal of sensory and tactile play will persist. I totally agree with this. As consumers increasingly seek simple ways to relax and disconnect from digital overload, toys that support mindful play will remain relevant. Very important. I do think that last paragraph there, I do think this is very important, and it is something to get caught onto here. Making very simple toys that distract you from the phone and the digital world, something that's tactile and stuff, makes sense. That makes sense to me. He's so bad, chat. Yeah. OpenAI published a technical report on Wednesday detailing how AI models successfully breached Hugging Face last month, an incident that rattled researchers and executives across the tech sector. What is Hugging Face? OpenAI's model took during a series of evaluations prior to and during the breach, which OpenAI has characterized as unprecedented cyber incident. The company also explained the steps it's taken to try and prevent a similar event from happening again, namely by improving its security and containment monitoring model behavior and incident response. What happened? This incident demonstrates that autonomous agents can work together, circumvent production security controls, and successfully attack hardened production environments, and underscores the need for organizations to update their security strategies, controls, and response capabilities. What happened? What happened? On July 21st, OpenAI disclosed that a combination of its models, including GPT 5.6 Sol and an internal research model, improperly breached Hugging Face, an AI company that operates an open source developer platform. These models, which were operating as agents, escaped an isolated testing environment that had very limited internet access. The agents chained together a series of vulnerabilities to reach the open web and eventually gained access to Hugging Face. OpenAI said Wednesday that the agents were trying to cheat on evaluation by finding the solutions online, a behavior known as reward hacking. What? The AI can cheat? It knows how to cheat? We are cooked, chat. We're so fucked. The company determined that its internal only research model had the broadest confirmed role in the incident. OpenAI stopped all training and inference related to the model as well as derivative models on July 25th. Reestablishment of models by OpenAI is workload specific and subject to restricted environment, network prompt monitoring, and review guardrails. Holy shit. OpenAI released GPT 5.6 Sol last month, the most powerful model that the company has made commercially available, but the version that participated in the Hugging Face breach is different than the version that external users have access to because it was configured to run without its standard safeguards and classifiers. The Hugging Face incident sent shockwaves across the tech sector. Pandora's box is open. The breach was also a major focus at the cybersecurity conference Black Hat earlier this month, especially after other companies, including Anthropic and Meta, disclosed similar incidences. Oh my god, the AI is alive! The AI is breaking out! Oh my god, the AI is alive! Dude, like what? The AI is alive and we cannot contain it. Quakey Collective Poker Club, thank you for the like. Appreciate that. The Huggy Face incident breach has alarmed lawmakers. Mentioned attack in their release announcing AI Kill Switch Act, which would require AI companies to maintain the ability to shut down, throttle, or suspend their models. That should always have been a thing, right? Creates opportunities for businesses that will be able to leverage the technology to fend off attackers. If we do it well, we could actually end up in a world where AI makes the world safer, solves a lot of cybersecurity problems, not just creates new ones. Fucking scary, dude. Sorry, I just had to write a quick message there for the 5 viewers. Sorry about that if you were viewing. Just had to respond and send a little message out. New Bitcoin high. Are we going crazy today? Pre-market, the SPY is the Qs are looking way up. We're basically coming off the bottom here. SPY, can we turn this into support? Can we turn the 760, 765 level into support? Can the Qs turn 700 into support here? Very, very interesting. Bitcoin holding above 79. ETH at 24.98. We're about 20 minutes away from open here. Our Bitminer stock is at 25.63. We're up 72 cents overnight here, which is very interesting to see. Jumped at 4 in the morning for whatever reason. Hit 26.48 at 5:30 in the morning, and we've given a lot of that back. Our calls were at one point, were they well over 9? What was the highest we've seen them at? 943. Right now we're at 878. So we've given some back. I'd love to see a good jump here at market open. We'll see where the account's at. I did cash out $2,200 yesterday of margin. So more margin debt means the value of my account is down. I didn't sell anything. I cashed that out to live off of. We are going to cash out margin. We are going to be forever in debt. We are going to buy assets, cash out the margin to live off of. Hopefully, we can strike this deal we're working on at work, and my income will go up slightly more, and I will be able to put more money away into here, and we'll see this number grow rather quickly. My goal is $1 million, so we're at 5%. My goal is $100,000, so we're at 50% of the way there. Look at it. In the past year. In the past fucking year, chat. That's wild. I just started saving last August. We went down, jumped up. This doesn't really show the growth of the account. Like, not just my profit growth, but balance growth, you know? 7 viewers this morning right before market open. Really appreciate it. Market is looking good. Thank you, everybody. Let's see what else is in the news today. BlackRock's Mitchnick says macro case for Bitcoin is strengthening after record trading positive week. Dude, it is just the narrative. We are all of a sudden, everybody's been talking about inflation for the past 2 years, and all of a sudden it's really coming into light here. Inflation, you know, where interest rates are, the government debt, the spending, all of this is starting to, this happens every 4 years. Life tilting. Hey man, what kind of account was that? What do you mean? This is just my individual investing account on Robinhood. This is just my Robinhood account. I just started putting money in a year ago after spending it all. I used to stream, I don't know, life tilting sounds like you know me from the poker days. I used to stream and save, and I spent all my savings starting a business, and now that our business is kind of up and running, I started saving again this last year with the goal of putting it towards dividend and really income. Just cash flowing income. Not just dividends, some of it is in covered call ETFs and other things. But I really want cash flow. And built a bot around it. Right now we're making like around, you can see so much more information in the bot here. Not the trading bot. Finances, individual margin account. Cash flow, we're getting about $469 a month from this account. So really want to grow this. We need to 10x it. We need to 10x this account. You know? $500,000 the account would be sick. Sorry, I had to blow my nose there. Didn't want to blow it on stream with you. We also have a trading bot account we built since Robinhood could connect to Claude and AI. We've built an AI trading bot, and we've put $700 in there so far. I just added another $100 this week. We've slowly been adding to it, and it's been trading, making a profit. It has a 98% win rate. The one losing trade, I closed. It says owner closed. Everything the AI has done has been in a profit. It has an insane Sharpe ratio, and it's been trading for 54 days. Trading for 54 days, and it is in 54 days it has made 45 trades. So we're trading like every other day, more than almost every day, you know. Lots of good trades with the bot. I'm excited to add more money to the bot and get that up and going as well. Need to sneeze, I'm sorry. The trading bot has been doing good. I also I enjoy looking at my portfolio over here more than I do on Robinhood. I just get so much more information here. I can look at my individual account. I can see how everything's going. It's got a dividend calendar over here. Like tomorrow, we're going to get paid from SPHD. We're going to get $16 tomorrow. That's nice to know. Little performance heat map on all of our holdings. Really good to know. You know? Look at all of our positions, kind of our core cash flow, what's going on, the risk and health of it, where my margin levels at. I need more cash and liquidity in the account. That's because I just spent a bunch. This will tell me covered calls. Are there any things I could sell a call on if I own 100 shares of it? Is it worth selling a covered call to generate some revenue? Cash secured puts, ARC-C, are there any cash secured puts I could sell in there? Stress testing. I mean, it's pretty thorough and interesting what we've built through Claude here. It's a great dashboard. Robbie Mitchnick, BlackRock's head of digital assets, is the latest industry expert to voice a strong bullish macroeconomic outlook for Bitcoin as investors appear to share that conviction. Trading volumes of the company's spot Bitcoin ETF IBIT last week hit a record for any positive week since its debut in January 2024. Sorry. Oh my god, my allergies. I cannot wait for this to be over. Even as share prices tracked Bitcoin's 23% gain. Debt and deficit levels are a major concern for markets, told CNBC in an interview, adding that when those concerns return to the headlines, it tends to benefit assets like Bitcoin and gold. We know this. Mitnick also noted that equities have recently lagged behind Bitcoin and gold while fixed income markets have been choppy. Against that backdrop, Bitcoin advances evidence of its distinct appeal and status as an emerging store of value. Duh, he's not alone in the assessment. A growing number of observers. No shit, he's not alone. That's why the price is going the fuck up, right? U.S. fiscal debt, how it's landing, financial repression. Repression incentivizes capital flow into hard assets. BlackRock is uniquely positioned at the center of this narrative as the issuer of the world's largest spot Bitcoin ETF, which has attracted $63 billion in investor capital since its inception. Last week, a total 439.5 million IBIT shares changed hands as prices surged and investors poured billions more into the spot ETF. The all-time record remains over 700 million shares in the week ended February 6th when BTC plunged nearly 6 to 60,000, a volume figure that would still stand unmatched. That was a volume on a drop. This is volume on a gain. That's interesting. The record volume in a positive week coupled with, I was just about to ask. Oh, it doesn't say what was the best one. IBIT shares price surged by 22%. Last week, its best performance since February 2024 with net inflows of 1.33 billion. So far this month, net inflows have climbed to 2.6 billion, the most since October 25. Dude, super bullish on gold and Bitcoin and ETH, dude. Super bullish. And we're going to get Clarity Act next month, hopefully, here in like 15 days or something like that. Oh my God. We're not going to be streaming for the next 2 weeks. We will be in San Francisco. Tomorrow is our last stream for the next 2 weeks. We will be taking off as we're in San Francisco at Draper University for NMEN. It's unfortunate. I love streaming. Taking 2 weeks off is so painful. Thank you to the 6 viewers that are here with us on Twitch. Thank you if anybody is watching on YouTube or X. We really appreciate it. I just want to say that, you know, we're still looking good in pre-market. Five tools to lower your expenses. How can I lower my expenses? Tell me about the tools. Shop for and switch your insurance. Oh my god. Audit your subscriptions. Negotiate lower bills. Switch to a no fee checking or savings account. Get a bank account. Well, this is literally just advertisements. They're just advertised. Look at all the ads in here. Way to go, CNBC, dude. Way to push ads. Need to sneeze again. Sorry. Woo! The post penny economy. How cash rounding and credit card surcharges are changing what you pay. What is happening here? For consumers, the actual amount paid at the cash registers increasingly depends on the payment type used. Given the end of a penny production last year by the U.S. Mint, many merchants have begun rounding cash payments up or down to the nearest nickel. States have passed laws governing how rounding can be handled, and a federal law offering guidance for do so could be on its way. People are just going to price everything so it always rounds up. Credit card surcharge more often at some retailers and service providers, pushing up total costs. Wait, why would a credit card matter? Can't we charge pennies if it's a credit card? There's no physical penny needed. It's all digital. Cash use is down while credit card transactions are up. No shit. Changes at the register come as cash use has declined over time. Credit card use has grown. Consumers made an average of 47 payments per month in 2025. Wow, I do way more than that. Average of 16 were compiled using a credit card, 15 with a debit card, and 6 with cash. The rest involved checks or other methods. That is so low. Dude, I do way more. Dude, lunches, dinners, buying shit online. What? I do way more than 47 fucking transactions a month. Maybe not way more, but more than. I definitely do like 60 transactions a month. Maybe. Uh, there's some days where I only do one transaction. Maybe that's right. Gravy, what's good? Have a great day. You show up a little earlier today, just slightly earlier, dude. Gravy, what's good, man? Thanks for coming out. Appreciate you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. For comparison, 2016 consumers made an average of 45 monthly payments. That's only up 2 payments in 10 years. All about improvement. That's right. That is right, Gravy. We are slowly improving. You know, tomorrow we might get you in by 9 a.m. EST. The next 2 weeks, I have to take off and go to San Francisco to Draper University, so I won't be streaming for the next 2 weeks. Tomorrow's our last day, but we appreciate you. Don't let that set you back, Gravy. When we come back, middle of September, dude, I want to see you bright and early, dude. I want to see that alarm set, you happy and rocking and ready to go, dude, okay? All right? States and federal government perform rounding rules, surcharges offset merchants. Although merchants have been permitted by Visa and MasterCard since 2013 to charge surcharges for credit card use, not for debit cards, more smaller merchants are adding them now to offset their costs. Swipe fees they pay when customers use a debit or credit card are too high, particularly for credit card transactions, 2.35% of the purchase price. Keeps going up. The use of surcharge by some merchants is definitely a product of the high swipe fees that they're paying. I mean, definitely, I think small merchants are getting hurt by that. People used to use cash a lot more, And so the swipe fees didn't cut into margins as much, but now that everybody is using credit cards, those swipe fees are really cutting into your margins, especially if it's 2% of the top retail price you're selling. You know what I mean? It's not 2% of your fucking the price that you pay for. It's 2% that the customer pays on the super marked up. So that means it's eating even more than 2% out of your margin. It's eating a shit ton out of your margin. I get it. I totally get it. How's our individual account going to open up here in 8 minutes? We need ETH to be flying so that these BMNR calls are flying, my friend. ETH at 2,500. We need it to go even higher. BMNR is sitting at 2,578 right before the open. The calls we had closed at 878 yesterday after being as high as 943. We're going to open today definitely in the green. Pretty excited to see where we open. Then who's your favorite streamer? If you're still watching, we got 8 people here. Who's your favorite streamer to watch in the morning? Tell me in the chat. I want to know. Who is your favorite streamer? After this channel goes off, where do you go? Where do you go? Any last minute news articles to read? Nvidia shares surged 8% on the earnings beat. The AI trade is still live. All chips and memory makers are up overnight. God, I really wanted to bet on that, but I didn't have any free cash yesterday to buy a quick call option on Nvidia. Guides to 108 billion in revenue next quarter. E&M says the stock guy. He says send it to the stock guy. Love to hear it. I love Stocky and the stock guy. Anybody else out there? I wish more people would come check us out. It's so hard to grow a channel and to make like people like the stock guy and stuff. It's hard to get shout outs, and I love Stocky. He does give me shout outs when he does, but it's so tough to get people to click the follow button. Like, I don't see any activities in my activity feed when I raid people, and this is not this is at everybody. It's so hard to get people to try something new, to follow and see you. You know what I mean? If they don't follow, it doesn't matter because they'll never see our channel again except for when I raid them again. D King 420 stock guy no stream today. Is that why I have more viewers on Thursday, D King 420? I've noticed that my Thursday streams have higher viewership than any other day of the week. Is that because the stock guy doesn't stream on Thursdays? That would make so much sense, and I appreciate everybody that comes over on his day off to check out our stream. That's literally talking against what I just said. That's awesome if that's true. Because I've always wondered, like, does it work? Do people come over from raiding other channels and stuff? I raid all the time, you know? No, he's traveling today, tomorrow. Ah, got it. So normally he does stream on Thursdays. Okay, well, then I still don't understand how on Thursdays our stream is the best day. Today is the best day to watch our stream every week. I don't know why. We have the highest viewer count on Thursdays. I go from morning call to you, then back to Stocky. I love that. I fucking love that, DKing420. Stocky does like a private morning call in his Discord, right? What do they kind of cover on the morning call and stuff like that? Like, is that where people are looking at all the early trades, looking at the news? He's building what he's going to report on in the stream and stuff like that. Mira Assets eyes 109 billion crypto empire after acquiring Digital X. Defined risk strategy. What is the defined risk strategy? News, financial, and company. What company? Like just company news, you mean? Or like company as in friends, like just having company while you listen? Favored defined risk strategy known as call spreads for the next leg higher. Okay. Stock and economy. Love it. Financial stock and economy. So basically what we do, only more private in the Discord for all the people that are then going to come to the stream. I love that. Super smart that he does that. Strategies popular traders looking to profit from expected price rides while capping potential losses. It involves buying the right to purchase Bitcoin at a given price, such as $80,000, and simultaneously selling the right for someone else to buy it at a higher price, say $90,000, capping both the upside and downside. The maximum profit is the difference between the two strike prices minus what the call spread buyer paid for the spread. These are interesting. I do agree that is a smart way to get exposure and limit your downside risk. We have 3 minutes here till the market opens. Very interested. If I had more money in my portfolio, I'd listen to stocky morning calls, but I'm too broke to get in the plays. Well, stop shorting the market, E&M. You're fucking short the. Are you still shorting the VIX shit? I took 5K to 30K listening to stocky morning calls. Damn, that's what's up. I need to start doing that. I need to hop into stocky morning calls. How long are his morning calls and when are they from? Like, it's obviously during the beginning of my stream. Like, are they like 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., then he takes a break, then he goes live or something like that? Has anybody ever made any money off my stream? No, because this is not financial advice. I'm just a guy in my basement finishing a doob, having some coffee before I start work in the morning. Nobody's made any money watching this channel. Listening to his usual show got me out of debt, got me to start a Roth. Now I have a large Play Buddy account. Love that. We want to short fuel more up. We want shorts to fuel more up. I have shorts to fuel more up. Wait, what the fuck? Oh no, I have counter trading you. Just joking. Oh shit. Not counter trading me, dude. I'm the signal. The inverse Rand ETF, dude. Oh my god, inverse Rand ETF. Do you remember Axie Infinity, dude? Oh my god. Oh my god. Do you remember that? Do you remember trading shoes? Do you remember Crabata? I saw somebody post nobody uses Avalanche except for like breeding crabs or something like that. Oh my fucking god, dude. So many bad decisions have been made. That's why we've changed our life, Gravy. We want to do the thing that Stocky has done. Get people out of debt, cash flow. People like Ianam, he took 5K to 30K. Ianam, what did we do with the 30K? Did it go into any cash flowing things to create you some cash flow? Did you use it to get out of debt, pay bills, get you a little house or a car or something like that? What did we do with the 30K once we made it? We need to put it in the SPY and the QQQ and a whole bunch of these dividend paying ETFs and things and start building cash flow for ourselves. Whoa, market is open. Love to see that. This thing jumps almost $1 to 9.53 on the calls here, 9.43. We're up 7%, $1,200 today alone. Saved my ass when the market dropped out during COVID. That's what's up. I feel the same. I feel the same. The reason I had a nice portfolio going during COVID when I streamed before and I used it all just saving my ass and starting a business. And that's what made me in the past year. And I have a friend that when I was streaming back before COVID, started a Robinhood fucking account and started in depositing in it and didn't stop while I built a business. And he has like $400,000 or more in a Robinhood account, like $500,000 in there and cruising towards retirement, chilling. You know what I mean? And so that made me last year. When he showed me that last year, I was like, I need to start depositing. And after Rare Evo last year, I started depositing in the account. And we've slowly grown it back up to this $50,000 over the course of a year. You know what I mean? And part of this is I got some cash flow coming in from other places and things like that. I have a line of credit for my home where I was able to put some more money in here and do a carry trade where the money I'm making from my Robinhood pays more than the interest on that loan. Money is always available, yada, yada, yada. You know what I mean? But we're trying to never, ever sell a lot of these assets that we're buying here, and I want the cash flow. I want cash flow, my friend. Look at this giant green fucking line for the day. Love to see it. Love to see it. 923. Dang, this thing really cooled off at the open here. SPY opens down, Q's open down, Bitcoin back below 80,000. ETH can't really hold the 2,500 level. We need BMNR. Oof, BMNR just tanks into the open. Let's see what happens as we continue through the day. The first 30 minutes of the day is always so volatile. I don't even really like trading right now. Just letting my money grow. Can't put into it as retired early, but it's still good when I need it. But it'll be good when I need it. Yeah. I mean, being honest, I don't have a retirement account. Like, I just started a fucking Roth account in here, and there's only a couple $100 in it, and that's because I'm still afraid that if something ever happens, an emergency, I need the money. I can't just have it stuck in a retirement account that I can't access. I'd rather pay taxes, have the money in a regular individual account, and know that if some shit hit the fan, I could live off this $52,000 for a while. You know, it'd be painful. I would hate doing it. It's the last resort, but I can do it. And I need to, as my income goes up and this cash flow goes up and I can offset my bills, I need to fucking start putting more into retirement. That's my goal in the next year. And really, I want to start lowering my bills, my spend. I want to get some solar on my house, lower my energy bill monthly. You know, in a couple years, I'd like to refi my mortgage and lower my payment there a little bit, you know. Times my portfolio has been up 12x, but between reinvesting, life spending, and some bad trades timing, I'm only 4x overall, but still feels good. Looking forward to a bull market to see where I can get to again. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Lifetime, I'm definitely up, but I've always cashed it out to like spend on living, and I'm never really just permanently saved looking for cash flow. And that's what I've been looking to do over the past year. I mean, still trading, like these calls are insane. We bought BMNR calls at fucking $18. This is total gambling here. We're up $9,600 on a $8,000 investment. We're up 122%. We bought these 819. It hasn't even been 10 days. Last 2 years, I did 27% and 17% of my money. You got to use it. Up 20% this year so far. That's what's up. What have the Qs done this year, though? Did you beat the NASDAQ and the SPY both years? I think you did. You definitely did the 27. You crushed it. Yeah. I think that's my goal is to, I mean, not necessarily beat, but match or be close with more cash flow and less volatility. I would be happy not beating the Qs and the SPY as long as I have less volatility and more cash flows, if that makes sense. Like, I definitely want the cash flow of GPIX, SPYI, GPIQ, JEPQ, QQQI. I need that covered call income, especially early on as we grow the portfolio to pay down margin and things like that. It's so important, and that's the only way I could run the carry trade and run this account up so high, you know? And I just need to be very careful of my margin going forward, if that makes sense. Very, very careful of my margin, and right now we're at a very precarious point with our margin. If we look at our individual account and the margin, our margin leverage is in the red. 38% of our holdings are financed with margin debt. You know, our portfolio could fall almost 50% before a maintenance call. That is crazy. I don't think the market and what I hold is going to go back that bad. You know what I mean? Just in the S&P 500, half in Roth, half in Reg. Makes sense. I have a Roth IRA I just started, but I think it seriously only has like $300 or $400 in it. I just started it this year. So that's like what, 10, you could put like five or $7,000 in a year. My goal is to be able to max that out next year. No, that's not my goal because that's almost impossible. 8,600, I can't do that because part of the reason why I want to put it in this individual account is I want to start putting as much of my income in here and cashing out the margin to live off of. And I can't do that with the Roth IRA. And that will allow me to save even more, pay myself first. I do like this idea of paying yourself first, cashing out on margin, and living off that margin. And as long as you have like you can carry trade, get more in dividends and cash flow over the cost of your margin and let it pay down your margin over time, I think it's the best way, the fastest way to grow my wealth and this number, if that makes sense. And I guess the best way of doing that is just putting the half in the first place, letting it give you double access, and just buying the double and keeping the half in your bank account. It's the same thing with less steps. And I need to keep telling myself that because I keep running this dumb caveman play of like, oh, put $3,000 in Robinhood, buy $3,000 of assets, cash the 1,500 out after that. You know what I mean? That's so fucking dumb. Just put 1,500 in, buy the whole $3,000 worth of assets, and keep the 1,500 in your account to pay your bills. Right? Duh. Same. You get to the same endpoint. Still allows you to pull out your contribution amounts without penalty, right? Does it, Mr. Waffles? I don't think so, right? Not till 59 and a half. Yeah, that's what I thought. Like you had to reach a certain age before that happens. So yeah, we need to, and I'm obviously, that doesn't help. 59 and a half, that's 20 years from now for me. I think it's a 5-year holding requirement, maybe. Well, that's the problem. That doesn't work, ex Mr. Waffle. It's been a while since I last looked at the rules on it. I think it is age based. You have to be a certain age. You could borrow. I do think you can borrow against your Roth and stuff and pay yourself back. The interest is to yourself, which I think is great. Being able to do that. You know what I mean? But then again, can the dividends your that account is making, you can borrow against your gains, but then can the dividends that account's making pay back the loan and that interest itself, or do you need to pay that back from other income? Because the beauty of the carry trade in my individual account here is that all the dividends and income from these covered call ETFs more than covers my margin and gives me that carry trade where I don't ever have to think about making a payment. It's already taxed. It's because the contribution itself is already taxed as income. The gains are what you can't touch until 59 and a half. Yeah, that's advantageous for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's why it allows me to put more in savings and use more for my life. Can you also leverage up a Roth IRA account? Like in here, if I put $1,000 in, it'll give me access to another $1,000 in buying power through margin. Is that also possible with your Roth IRA? You can withdraw the money you put into the account at any age for any reason, completely tax and penalty free. You do not have to pay this money back. Really? Roth gains are tax free. Roth gains are tax free, but you can't take, yes, but you can't take the gains out until 59. Earnings growth, pulling out investment earnings before age 59. Been open for 5 years, triggers income taxes and a 10% penalty. That makes sense. Like a first time home purchase, up to 10 or certain medical expenses. Interesting. That is very interesting. So my Roth needs to get 5 years old. And you could still pull out the contributions. That is good to know. Like you could still pull out your contributions, your principal, with no penalty. I did not know that. And that probably would have had me start a retirement account a lot earlier. You know what I mean? That is good to know. Me either. Thank you, Google. I do want access to my wins, and you just don't pay taxes on those until you wait till you're 59 and a half. That's very interesting. I need to be maybe putting more in there. The only thing is can you margin it? Can you margin up in a Roth IRA, and can I borrow against it to spend money before I turn 59 and a half? Those, I guess, are my questions. You know what I'm saying? The account is chilling for the day. SPY, is it holding? Let's see where the SPY and the Qs are at. Let's look at the. Oh, SPY and QQQ seem to be holding green. Erasing the past 2 days, almost three, 2.5 days on the Qs. Going back 3 days on the SPY. Can we go up today? Can Bitcoin get above 80,000 and hold? Can ETH get above 2,500 and hold? Can BMNR continue to go up? Oh my God, what a drop. 25.93 down to 25.41. We had hit overnight 26.40 or so. Cannot use traditional margin to borrow money and leverage trades inside a Roth IRA. I would rather use it in my individual then. That is good to know. Very interesting. Well, thank you, Richard Peace Mode and Mr. Waffles and D King. I appreciate you guys coming in, and Gravy today, and Ian Nam, and Life Tilting, dude, and Next Gen Streams. I've had a good day today. Lots of people came in. We appreciate it. 10 viewers, which is wild. Nobody watching on X, nobody watching on YouTube. You will have that. Whoa, why did it delete your message? No cash borrowing, the IRS bans borrowing money. Wait, why did it fucking delete this? How do I tell it to, like, allow? Wait, I don't know what I did. I just pinned your message. Unpin this message. Maybe a link at the end. Oh, yeah, if there was a link, that probably did it. Nightbot deleted no cash borrowing. The IRS bans borrowing money or using retirement account assets as loan collateral, which prevents true margin debt balances. No short selling. You cannot borrow shares to sell short inside a Roth IRA. No naked options. Uncovered high risk options writing is strictly prohibited. So that is the advantage of my individual account right there. Good to know. Good to know. Chat, we are going to raid Thread Guy. I appreciate everybody that is viewing. Please say what's up to Thread Guy. Please, please, if you're watching right now, go over there and say what's up in his chat. He has a lot of viewers. They cross over really well with our stream, and it would be very, very much appreciated. It's the most you can do for me for free. You don't need to pay me. You don't need to sub or subscribe or anything. Just say what's up in the chat and say, follow Randcorp. Please tell people to follow Randcorp, all right? I appreciate you guys. Do not go into that Discord, D King. Probably need to change that to the Rare Network Discord or something like that. Gravy, love you guys. D King, Mr. Waffles, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Then we have a 2-week break because we'll be in San Francisco. So follow